the donation. He says, anyone else sick of the high ceiling fallacy?
Yeah, I am. I can't tell you the number of morons that I've talked to in the last month who are just, well, yeah, they're winning with Brock, but, can they win it all? What? You're 8-0. You were 8-0, and you won 2 playoff games, and you may have been able to beat the Eagles in their place, but you lost them. So now we won't know.
So I'll
but
say
this idea that we're critiquing Brock Purdy. Yeah, he's winning, but his upside is limited and his size and you're winning. Stop questioning how you're winning. It is really fucking hard to win in the NFL. Really hard. Respect that. You got a guy who's winning in the NFL. Respect that. Don't sit there and take it for granted and start critiquing it. Respect how hard it is to win.
I will say, Krug, I don't think the ceiling necessarily matters as long as his contract is what it is. He's making $800,000. He's a steal at his price right now with how he's playing. That's it.
No, but the high ceiling fallacy is about, well, you got to go with Trey because Trey's got more high ceiling.
That's
a scout steal.
It turns into a conversation of how attainable you think that ceiling is. And if the 49ers thought Trey Lance's ceiling was very, very attainable very quickly, they would just start him this year with Brock Purdy hurt, would they not? Because they would think that, oh, if we give Trey 3-4 games, Trey's going to become an absolute stud. That's what we thought he was going to be in 2022. But they're not doing that. They're having him compete with Sam Darnold.
There's an old saying, don't turn down good in pursuit of awesome. You have good. Be happy. You know what I mean? You have a good quarterback. Be happy. Don't sit there and be like, I need somebody awesome. Got to have somebody awesome. Okay, but you may just get rid of a good quarterback for your pursuit of awesome.
Green Glassful, appreciate the donation again, says, Trey truthers are unhinged with ulterior motives. What I will say is, there's a level of toxicity to the entire portions of the fan base, I would say, that are so dug in on one guy needs to be the guy, one guy doesn't need to be the guy, one guy needs to be the guy. I don't operate on my feelings on any of these guys. I just operate on what are the 49ers telling us. And right now they've told us and they've made it quite clear. Brock Purdy is the guy. We don't know when he's going to be healthy. But when he's healthy, he's the guy. They were blown away with how he played last year, right? Blown away. It's clear they were blown away. Whether you were blown away, whether I was blown away, doesn't matter. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were clearly blown away. Which now leaves us with Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has a clearly incentive-laden contract. It's clear that he's here to compete for something more than just be the quarterback 3 and just be insurance in case Brock Purdy doesn't come back at the beginning of the season. Or for Trey Lance, he's going to get an opportunity to be the starter until Brock Purdy comes back. As is Trey Lance, unless he gets traded, as Krug is predicting, which is also a possibility. And that's pretty much it with the quarterback situation. I think the entire fan base, this person, that person, I think they're all unhinged a little bit, Green Glassful. I know I never said you were anti-Trey either. Yeah.
Why does everybody have to have an agenda? Why can't
they want to be right, Krug? It's that simple.
Yeah, but why do you got to have an agenda? I have no agenda. Here's my agenda.
Because you're not bought in on a take.
I want to win. That's my agenda.
Wait, Krug. The difference is you're not bought into a take because you love Trey Lance before the draft and you love Brock Purdy and you've been the Brock Purdy guy. A lot of these people are bought into a take. So they're just, trying to justify that take, I think.
That's
and it's more about them being right.
But I mean, if you're a Niner content creator, what are you doing here if you're not rooting for the Niners? I mean, if you're a Niner content creator, why do you have to have an agenda? I have no agenda. Here's the only agenda I have is I want to see them win that 6th Lombardi. I don't care who they win it with. They can win it with you at quarterback. They can bring back Jim. They can bring back Jim Plunkett.
Happy with me at quarterback?
Yeah. If you win,
I'll throw that jet pass. 10, 11 times a game. Drop it off to Debo.
I don't care who the quarterback is, and I really don't want to care about the quarterback if you're winning games. these people that are just so upset because they're like, why is there so much negativity on Brock Purdy? He's unfreaking defeated. Why are people ripping him? You're not a Niner fan if you're ripping him. If you're ripping Brock Purdy, you're not a Niner fan. You're some person parading as a Niner fan who has some kind of alternate agenda. And if you want to have an alternate agenda, go for it. But then guys like me are going to call out your alternate agenda because you're not about winning. I'm about winning. Do you want to win? Brock Purdy won.
I'm about winning. Winners. I'm
about winning. Winners. That's my agenda.
I want winners.
I don't need.
Can't coach with them.
I can't. I can't. I don't want the Niners to win. I want the Niners to win with the quarterback I want them to win with. What? So then what? You're going to handicap Brock Purdy like he's got all kinds of problems, despite the fact he's undefeated. And you're going to sing Trey Lance's praises like he's absolutely this far away from being Mahomes. I mean, based on what? Talking endlessly about the second half against the Texans? Really? Sad. It's really sad. I mean, it just shows there's a lot of people out there that really they're not really football people. They're not about winning football games. They've got some other agenda. They're trying to advance some other cause. They don't want to tell you what it is, but they obviously, if you're okay with winning, you got a quarterback that's winning. So anybody who's anti-Brock Purdy, got to wonder about them. Got to really wonder about them. Why are you anti-Brock Purdy? Why? Too short? Too this? Too that? Doesn't have the right whatever that you're looking for? He's winning games.
I want to answer a couple of questions, but I actually do have one concern about Brock Purdy that I think will be a great discussion, right?
Win games and not worry about are you winning with the quarterback that you want to win with? You're winning. You're winning games. Just be happy.
That Krug, as we've been talking more and more, I think that the point you're making is the more important point. They don't know what he is. And now that I think about it, Larry, I don't know if they've necessarily given up on what he can be. I think they've just given up on developing him to what he can be. I think that's what it is. I don't think they want to participate in that process with the Win Now team. I think John Lynch said as much in his combine presser. And I think that that's been given some more clarity. You were on it right away then. And you took a lot of shade for saying that you thought he was talking like a guy that was trading him. But it feels like they've stayed consistent with that path. And I think ultimately, Larry, if there's one conclusion anybody who's watching the show that can take away, it's the conclusion that you and I drew in the middle of the show, that ultimately it's not about Trey Lance. It's not about Brock Purdy. It's about having a quarterback on a rookie contract. And they believe they found that with Brock Purdy. Therefore, that's where the sunk cost comes in with Trey Lance, because they don't think they need to, go through the extended process of developing him again. They're going to give him the opportunity this offseason, right? If he magically comes back better and beats out Sam Darnold, he gets the opportunity, but they're not going to just give him the job and try to build him up the way they did last year. They've made that clear, because if they were, he would be the starter right now with Brock Purdy hurt.
Shanahan said it today. He said last year Trey was given first-team reps. This year, he suggested he will split and compete for those reps with Sam Darnold. So quite a bit different. He basically admitted that last year it wasn't a competition. It was Trey's job. They handed it to him. He got hurt. But what's really disingenuous is we think Trey would have had an incredible year. But then we brought in Sam Darnold this year.
Right. If you thought he was going to have an incredible year, then why wouldn't you just resume that now that Brock Purdy's hurt? Like, that's what I'm asking, right? That's the question.
It's so obvious they're going to trade him. I mean, to me, it's just obvious. And it's like, they're not even that smooth about it. It will be interesting to see what they can get. It probably won't matter that they're not smooth, because the Rand Carthons of the world are desperate. And there'll be somebody who will give you something. And I think that they're willing to probably take, a late first or an early second and a player, something like that. And I think that's a very palatable Price for the Rand Carthons of the world, guys who are first-year GMs trying to establish a new program. If you gave the 49ers whatever their high second-round pick is and, a corner like the kid from McCreary or McCready or whatever they have in Tennessee, Niners would probably give you Trey Lance for that. That'll be my guess.
What about the corner that they picked in the first round that has unlimited physical talent, but he's gotten hurt twice?
Who's that?
Caleb Farley.
I think he's been hurt a lot. I think I'd want
since college.
Yeah.
But if we're talking talent, Larry, there's some special physical qualities and attributes to Caleb Farley. David